This one's kind of cool. It's got a little bit of grease on it, something rubbed up against it. You can, even with your own hand on an aspen tree, make your own grease marks. So you know if some animals walk through here, just some of that oil and grease from its fur rubbed off here and here. That's me, that's me, that's me. So it's kind of an easy way to track critters walking through the woods. I haven't found the most ideal piece yet, but I think I see one. Let's go. Essentially, I'm taking a piece of this aspen and giving it a rough profile, then force drying it, and then I'll do some final scraping and some of that final tillering. But I want it, you know, more than just a survival bow, because I mean, I could string it up, shoot some arrows out of it, probably take some squirrels or some small birds, but I'd love to be able to extend its life. That's why I'm drying it, to be more than a 72-hour bow. So to shape this, I'm looking to have a handle about in the middle. I'm going to thin out my limbs, try to make them as universal as possible. Really, since this is my thinner side, this is my thicker side, I'm going to try and match this to this. Work on some of these little knots. I'm not too worried about taking them out, but I'll probably get through this pretty quick. Start shaping. And that's going to be the back. All right, so I got a rough shape of the bow so far. Really just took a lot of the guts out, scraped off that little aspen bark on the backside, and now I'm just doing a little bit of that force drying. Probably gonna dry it out for a couple hours, just kind of keep the fire low and just changing the spots on the bow. You know, eventually I'll put the tips over, and on the bow, I left a little bit of that bark for those tips just to give it a little bit more of a reinforcement. I mean, it will definitely work as of right now. This aspen is wet, it's not dry, so it's got a little natural moisture, a little natural spring to it, but I'm looking to draw out some of that moisture. Trying to extend it beyond the 72 hours is the goal with less than ideal wood. But I don't want the bow to burn, so I'm gonna have to keep a good eye on it, constantly feeding the fire, changing its positions. I could build a long fire, I could build a lot of different methods, but I've got a fire pit. I'm just gonna force dry it. Give it a little bit more life than just 72 hours. With the wind kind of blowing this way, this end will always get a little bit more dry. And we'll go maybe an hour and 45 on this side, and then I'll flip it around so the smoke is getting more of this side down here. But that smoke's, it's warm, it's hot, it's naturally drying it out as well. I think I'm about an hour and 45 minutes in. Just gonna keep flipping it, rotating it, watching flames. One thing I can't overlook are the tips. Being that these two little Y stakes are really getting the belly of it, I just need to kind of drop this down every once in a while, find a high rock and just let it dry in that capacity. So I have some braided sinew that I'm gonna turn into a bowstring. A real simple bowstring. I'm just gonna half it out, take my two little pigtails. You can see that it's braided. And I'm gonna run it all the way down to the end so it creates a bite, and then I'm just gonna start my reverse wrap. It is braided and it will be strong enough, but this little reverse wrap just makes it a little bit tighter, and that will be a good diameter. Sometimes with bows, something that can slow a bow is the bowstring. A lot of people like to use paracord, and that's fine. That will get you by in a pinch, but you need a fast bowstring. That's kind of what the deal is. So me, while I'm watching the bow dry, forcing it to get dry, I'll work on a bowstring, and that's kind of what we're looking at. I pinch, I roll this one towards the camera, I roll, come underneath with this finger, pinch it, bring it back, slide my fingers up, and just keep doing that. You know, the drier I can get the bow, the snappier it's going to be. I mean, aspen is not an ideal wood, so it's going to have its issues. But if I can get it dry, it will probably still have a little moisture in there. There's no way of getting around it. It should last longer than a couple days. Coming to the end of my bowstring, what I need to do is do a little tillering. Pull it off the flames, do a little floor tiller, and see how she's bending. And I know they're gonna be bendy because it is still a green wood and it's got some moisture in there. But I'm trying to feel just a little bit of snap, a little bit of tension. I know how it felt when I was first kind of doing a knee tiller, kind of bending it and just watching the limbs, how it felt kind of loose and not very snappy. I want that to improve gradually through the drying process. The bowstring is completely done. That is what we're working with. That's way better. A little snap to it. Doesn't feel as loose. It's a little stiff right in there. I'll have to take some of that out. I'll keep drying it, but then I'll mark it up a little bit where those kind of hard spots are. I think it'll be pretty much good to go. So I pulled it off. I think it's pretty dry. Carve these tips out just a little bit. So put my bowstring on there. got some pull. Let's string it and go for it. I think it's gonna shoot well. This top limb's just a little tight. Right there, I can feel it's just a little something, something. Oh, that sucked. Firing clean. I like it. I like it. All right, everything is said and done. The bow is complete. It fires well. I might do a little bit of refining on this upper limb right here. It's shooting, it's quiet. The string is not interfering with the arrows. I'm not getting any string slap. More importantly, it's from a greenwood. It's from an aspen tree that I cut down, did a rough profile, and then proceeded to do about 6.5 hours of forced drying. That was directly over flames, hot coals, trying to pull out a lot of that moisture. The goal was to create something more than just a wet green bow that's really drawn probably 8 to 10 pounds. I think this is pulling right around 25 pounds. However, when it comes to small game, squirrels, rabbits, maybe even some grouse, would absolutely get the job done. This goes beyond that 72-hour survival green wet bow. In Colorado, we don't have a lot of the most ideal woods, especially when you're way up in the mountains where I'm at right now. You can see we've got a lot of aspen, we've got a lot of pine. That's all I'm really dealing with up here. Adapt and overcome, there's always options. That was just a way where you could take a wet wood, dry it out, turn it into an effective shooter, and hopefully get a meal. All right, we'll see you in the bush. Thanks for watching.